I noticed recently that I have to self-regulate very often than usual. This fly has been attacking me all day. I'm working outside today because I can, and I feel like this has been a very interesting moment for me. Being stuck here is not a coincidence, and I think today I woke up with that. And also, I had confirmation with some friends sharing that they believe that too. And so I also noticed that I've been journaling a lot more. I started this new journal May 1st, and I've journaled the first six again, 8, 11, 13. Like, very uncommon for me because I like to take my time and experience life and then journal. But I think I've gotten in the routine of just at least one page writing out my thoughts. And I see that changing my life to the point where I'm able to process emotions and thoughts a lot quicker and then just continue to live. I noticed that it was easier for me to choose gratitude over fear, and yeah, fear. That's literally what it is. So interesting. And there were so many little things that I felt like God was speaking to me through this situation. The fact that my car got from Houston to Louisiana without the major issues happening until I got here 20 minutes before getting to my grandma's house really just showed me that it was meant for me to get here, and then it was meant for car to get repaired here. And I'm just grateful that that was able to work out. I really got to witness my mom really step into motherhood, just seeing her be that super mom. I don't know, it did something to my brain. I feel like I hadn't seen that in a minute in person. It's like grew up seeing it, but seeing it now did something for me. And the fact that it was on Mother's Day weekend, she did not have to do that. She did not have to go out of her way to make sure that I was taken care of. But as a mother, she did. And I don't know, it did something for me. I'm learning how to show grace to my parents because they only know what they know. And the more they're able to learn what's outside of what they know, helps them to be a different person for themselves and then to everyone else around them. And I think that has a lot to do with self-regulating. You can tell when one is not doing it. Anyone. I think you can just tell when people are not self-regulating as often as we should, because we have so much popping up. We have one thing after the next. We have the news, the social media, everything that is keeping us distracted from being still and literally taking care of ourselves. We're not able to nurture ourselves because we're feeding into everything else around us. We're literally giving our energy away to this system that we live in. And I've always said that there is this fight between the natural habitat, our ecosystem that we live in, against the hybrid ecosystem that we live in virtually. And it's almost like that habitat has caused us to act different in the natural. There's so many different people in this world, and yet there's always something negative that we can find to point out and cause division and cause chaos. Because especially recently, I've seen a lot of people make comments about something and it's just negative. It's literally every time something is produced, something is put out to the world on the internet, it's just negative. Okay. Good, thank you.
You good?
Yes, sir.
You need anything to do? You need anything? You all right?
Ma'am, I'm in the middle of something. What's wrong?
You think-
Come on. Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, let's have the conversation since it just popped up. Before I get into that, I need to finish my thoughts about the system that we live in. Seeing the negative thoughts show me where people are inside, and that's why I see it so important to do the inner work so that you can be the example. And this is what I believe was translated when Yeshua talked about everything that goes into being a human. I think it's more of recognizing that we all share the same issues, but it just looks a little different in every single person. Because everyone struggles with something, right? Which is translated into we all fall short, right? But then it's like, how do you live with that? Because if this is who I am, how do I live with this? And how do I improve? And that's where I see redemption taking place. The renewing of the mind happens daily through self-regulation, through these activities that we do to ground ourselves, to bring ourselves back to the inside, to our core, so that we are able to function well in society. And I can visualize, I can see how these links, like I can see people that are linked together, creating this conversation and then spreading it by voice, by recording, by using what we have to speak in many forms. It could be written, it could be in songs, it can be in TV and film. This is how we use our voice to broadcast messages to each other that eventually wake up people. Isn't that crazy? I have so much to say, and I think this opportunity has given me a chance to pull my thoughts together and speak and post about it. I still look so sleepy. It's okay. I'm not judging myself. I see myself in a new light, in a new understanding, and I want to continue to document this life in many forms. So let's talk about money. Money is energy. Everything is energy. But the money that we put value in is energy. And once I started to see that it's all a reflection on how you perceive it, it changed my life. Because in 2021, when I launched Oasis in my art career, that's actually interesting. I didn't realize that, oh yeah, makes sense, because 2020 I started JA Visuals. I got my DBA for that, and I opened up my company officially. And then the following year, I released Oasis, which was the launch of my art career. So that was very interesting. It actually brings me confirmation in this moment that I need to continue to pursue JA Visuals as well. But maybe in a different way. We'll get there. And that launch taught me that I can do anything. Literally. When I tell you, I used what I had at that moment and I built something incredible out of it. It showed me I can do anything, and with God, everything was able to come to life as it should. That's the part that has stuck with me this entire time, because I didn't have the money to rent a facility and host a art gallery and book launch in the same event, which was separately on my bucket list, right? So because of that, the resources came through in different ways. Like, I was let go of my job in 2020, and we were during COVID. We had unemployment, stimulus checks, all of the resources were there, and I was able to use them to build that, to buy the books before I even had sales, to put in the time to create it, to craft it, to schedule the photo shoots and work on the paintings and make sure that everything is edited and ready to go. Like, it was a huge process that I learned anything can be done. So fast forward, I feel like I'm still a child when it comes to building this, because I don't have examples of this in my family other than the people in my family who went outside of the norm and pursued their dreams. My mother is a big example of that, coming from a small town at a young age with a young child pursuing her dream to be a funeral director, would literally go to school during the week, come home on the weekends to work. Like, and I know there's so much more in there that I can miss because I didn't fully experience it. I only witnessed it. And I got to see a hard worker. I got to see someone who said, I'm going to do this, and did it. Like, it's my first example, it being my mother. I think that being so close to me helps me to see that this is possible. even though ours are a little different. Hers is in the corporate side of things at the moment, to where she has got to the point where she's on top and she loves what she does because she loves people. She loves God, she loves people. She's able to be a difference in this community. For example, when you think of funeral homes and you think of morticians, you think of all black. My mother started wearing color as she got to the top. She started bending the rules a little bit and influenced the culture. Do you hear me? Like, am I clear right now? She started implementing color, and now within the CI, people wear color. Obviously, there's moments where they have to wear their navy blues and the standards, but now you don't just see black, you see more color, which is something that I relate to by creating the visuals that I use and the colors that I use. So to see her go from the bottom to the top, and there's so much more that she can do, that was already an example and inspiration. But then I am pursuing entrepreneurship and self-employment. That is different. And that is something that I have to learn. No one's teaching me that. And I think it happens through life situations like this trip, and how to manage your money, and who can you trust to help you manage your money. And because I would think this would be different if I was just spending money on garbage. That's why I say money is energy. What you spend money on, you will see a return. So that's why I invest. I buy things for future. I literally spend my money on resources to continue to build this, and then food, of course, and I can splurge and have moments of fun because I want to enjoy this life now and not wait until retirement. And which I see travel as research. Everywhere I go, I am researching, I am taking notes, I am jotting down all the ideas and everything that influenced me at the moment, so that I can pour that into my work. So to me, it's all working towards this dream. And now I'm able to sit with these thoughts and actually put them into place when it comes to how am I going to do this. I've been asking myself for the past couple days, God, how is this working out for me? To be open and hear that certain things happen in order for me to sit and be still, so that I can put things into order, mentally, I should say. Because it's like God being in control and us being the co-creators. It's visualize it as like you have a controller, you're playing the game, and then God is sitting next to you, and you're like, okay, you play now. And I see it as that, like doing what I can do with my decision making, and then it's like God does the rest. I have faith, I believe, and I know that there is this huge, when I tell you massive source, spirit, that's taking care of us. That is the truth. I was about to say that's the tea, because it is the tea. That's the truth. Now, what we do with our life determines what comes next. So if I'm not making the videos, if I'm not painting, if I'm not writing, I won't see anything happen. So I find it very interesting that the moment I said, okay, treat this as a job, like life depends on it, I can't return home so that I can continue to work on that. So instead of giving up, I went to the store. I bought a few things. I got my meal prep situation, and I got prepared for this week. And today I've been able to work outside. I had my Zoom call with my job, my 9 to 5, and I've journaled, and I've sat with these thoughts. And I'm going to go work out later, because that's on the list, and I'm going to paint, because I was so eager to get home and paint. I'm not letting that stop me. And then I realized I have to voice these thoughts a lot more, because I know other people will relate and understand and connect. And as I'm building a community, it's good to know that there are people out here who understand you. So I hope I'm not like all over the place, because I keep looking down, I keep seeing money. I keep seeing this money, and how it's just given to me right now from my grandmother. She sat with me and we prayed, and it's always good to have that reminder, even though there's some beliefs that I may not subscribe to anymore. I still appreciate the attention when it comes to a spiritual growth guidance, if that makes sense. And I'm constantly thinking about my ancestors and what they had to go through to get to this point. Our house that she was able to build is on plantation grounds. Literally right now in the backyard, there's a cotton field. I've actually painted there before. And every time I'm here, I'm reminded of that. We have a family picture in the hallway that shows the beginning of this side of the family, modern beginning, I should put there. And to know how they were a part of the start of the African American America, I constantly think about that. And so when I hold this, I just think about how this was just handed to me, and this is how I expect money to continue to flow. That it will come to me when I need it. Now, the part that I am learning is that it comes when I'm doing the work, right? When I'm putting in the work to do the things I labeled earlier, this comes naturally. Just like how our projects, as a creative, our projects are energy too. I've noticed that if I have a list of projects that are pending and I don't finish them, I won't get any new projects because I have to make space. So on top of knocking out work related materials, working on my client materials, finding time to create my artwork for my personal client, myself, I have to make time for all of that. And that's a lot of work. But I'm willing to do it because I believe that I can. And because I believe I can, it gives me that boost, that motivation that no one else has to tell me, because I'm telling myself every day you can do it. Now, don't get me wrong. I have people in my corner. I have close friends. I have my family that sees me who are also saying the same thing. But I'm just mentioning that as an everyday situation. I live alone. So I have to wake up and look in the mirror and say, everything's going to work out. You don't need to worry about anything because you have everything. God is everything. That's the stuff that I tell myself every single day. I lack nothing because you are everything. And when I say that you, I'm referring to God and myself. I look in the mirror and say, I lack nothing because you are everything, but I'm talking to God and I see myself. I think that's beautiful. Then I say, I get everything I want and everything I need at the right time. There's no need to worry or stress because I get everything I want, everything I need at the right time. I should label this video that. And I believe that. Every single time God has showed me throughout my life, every time I was in need, there were resources that just fell in my lap and I was able to take care of it. Hence the creation of Oasis. So I literally carry that mindset with me every level up. And I know that this is a level up because I can feel that shift. I've felt this before. So when I see these signals and I see that this is a cycle and that I'm leveling up, let's go to the next phase. I definitely have to bunker down and take care of the work because I believe that this is what is required of me to see a different outcome. Or I'll just stay in the same loop. And staying in the same loop is terrible. Who wants to stay there? Like, I think it saddens me when I see people in that same cycle over and over and over. And it's the fact that let's just sit down, self-regulate, and work through these thoughts, these patterns, and respond to them differently. I think that was the biggest thing I learned throughout this entire situation, is that I was able to respond to these situations differently, and I expect a different outcome. So far, I have gotten better outcomes because I haven't had any arguments with anybody. I haven't had to be defensive. I haven't had to crash out, basically, if we're being honest here, because I chose to think about this differently. For example, in the past, it was, how am I going to afford this? How am I going to do that? Anxiety would take over. And now it's speaking those affirmations and believing that everything will work out for me. It sounds simple, but it's a lot of work. In my body, it's this battle of, I don't see that happening. But then it's like my spirit's like, it's gonna happen. So I don't care if you believe it or not, it's gonna happen. And it's these reminders that tell me it's gonna happen. Because I get to look back and I see, oh, This is how this worked in the past. This is how God came through in the past. So it's going to happen again and again and again. That's why there's no need to worry or stress, because I get everything I want and need at the right time. So these are my thoughts about everything currently. And I am enjoying this time, even though it didn't go as planned. And trust me, for those who know me a couple years ago, oh my God, I would have been tripping out right now. Because I'm like, I find it so funny. Because I'm like, man, I used to get so upset when the smallest thing won't work out. But now I'm just like, hey, it's life. But I refuse to let life bring me down. Because you can easily go to a negative space. You can easily be like, oh my God. It's like, I've been there before. I didn't like that. So I said, let me try something different. And that's something else I thought about today. When you've been in a place that you just don't like, why return? Because you got to see what it's like on the other side. It's like return. I don't like this certain, why would I watch it again? You know, like where I'm at. I don't like the way that I reacted. So why would I go back to that when I can choose to respond differently and think about it in a different light? That's what's sticking with me lately. I don't think I have anything else to say at this point. I think this has been really good, and I am taking mental notes of the process. I remained calm. That was the first thing. I remained calm. I spoke my affirmations, and I had my time with God. We spoke, responded to other people in a positive way about it. Didn't freak out, didn't crash out, didn't have any arguments, just peace. That's choosing peace. Then I processed anything negative that came up. I processed, I recognized, I showed grace, and then I journaled. I reflected, I journaled, I wrote down, and let things out. I even shed a couple tears because of what I witnessed in my mother, again, in a long time. I had conversations about it with people to end the night, and they spoke encouragement into me. Sometimes you don't even have to say much, you just show up, you just call. And seeing a friend's face just over FaceTime and just yapping or making jokes about whatever helps as well. And then I went to sleep, woke up, and was able to speak about it. And now I'm going to be able to put this into my artwork. So this is the rhythm that I'm talking about here. Translating my life, these experiences, this energy that I am going through, and putting it on canvas, putting it into music, and putting it into film and photography. That's the process. So that's my self-regulation. I have so many other things that I do, but I definitely want to start the conversation of doing this a lot more often, especially in our Black communities, because we need this. We need to be the people that the past needed. And I can confidently say that I have been chosen to come here and be that person to this bloodline. So I'm gonna have to write this down and practice it more often, because based off my calculations, something else is gonna happen. And when I face it, I want it to be a smooth transition like this one, but even smoother, because I will have a better understanding. These thoughts like try to distract you from who you are. We all have so much greatness in us, and when these thoughts come into our mind, it's literally just to trick us, for us to believe the opposite when we already know at our core who we are. You just have to be able to go in and find that. And you won't be able to do that by distracting yourself, allowing those distractions to occur over and over and over. So now I'm able to sit with these thoughts and remember who I am, and then continue to walk that and be authentically me, which has taken a long time to get here. And I'm proud of myself for taking a risk and saying, let's take a little detour. I'm grateful. I think I should end with a prayer to just seal this moment. because this was a sacred moment for me and I'm sharing it with the world. And it wouldn't feel right to end it without prayer. Yeah. I don't think I've prayed outside in a long time, and like it's really beautiful. I think my last, no, maybe like 3 walks ago, I prayed outside. So it's a lot to take in here because of the birds. So beautiful. I think sometimes I get really like right before the prayer because I know that these words that I speak are going to translate into life, are going to be brought into life. So it's almost like a little kid that's like excited to go speak in front of a crowd. And I always get like, I don't want to say anxious, but it's more like I'm excited to pray because I know the power behind it. So, yeah. I just catch myself doing that all the time. God, I thank you for another day, a place where I can come and really sit still and get reminded of the truth. God, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to process my thoughts and to find this rhythm, this space that you've created for me to continue to work on everything that we've discussed. Thank you for giving me the resources to take care of all my needs over this weekend and times before. I wouldn't be able to do it without the dedication and the sacrifice of my mother. God, I thank you for giving me a space in my heart to show grace to those who need it from my personal experience. I thank you for giving me a mind that will travel through the thoughts but not be taken under, for giving me understanding so that I can know what it means to forgive and I can feel and believe what it means to experience love in different forms. I thank you for being by my side during these challenges and trials that come with life. I thank you for pouring into me as I continue to seek everything out here that works for us to build lives and to create community and create conversations about the things that we are supposed to be talking about in order to be good humans to ourselves and to each other, to be a part of the spirit and to come together and be of one. I thank you for giving me a platform to speak on this behalf and create a space for other people to open up and feel safe to express and be authentically themselves. I thank you for choosing me to be a part of this bloodline and for carrying the legacy throughout. I pray that by me making the decisions to do what I do for the creative world, for the digital world, for the arts and the media and everything that influences people, that it will go into the next one. I believe that everything that we do today lives on forever. So thank you for giving me the ideas and for giving me the peace and the patience to deal with everything that comes my way in order to take the next step. God, I ask that any person that's viewing this video and listening, that they will receive anything that they are asking for, that you will give them the clarity that they need to take their next step, that you give them the boldness to be themselves, that you will give them the resources to take care of all of their needs, that you will guide them into every room, every opportunity that will continue to grow their journey and to grow with you. I ask that you will give us understandings. I ask that you will give us the knowledge to continue to do this, to continue to push ourselves and say yes to what's on the inside and what wants to come out and be alive into this world. So I thank you for this creativity, for it being connected to your spirit. And I ask that anyone struggling with any type of creative blockage, that you will release them from that blockage so that they can fully tap into creativity and be the creatives, the full artists and singers and writers and musicians and dancers and actors, and the list goes on, so that they can continue to spread the message of love and light. I thank you. That was good. I didn't expect to do this, but I'm gonna do it more often. and see where this takes me, because I am trying new reactions. This is one of them.